Jalen Ramsey's obviously a very unique player in how he can show up pretty much anywhere on the field at any given play. I'm curious because there was back-to-back plays. Once Fields was on the play the flip back to Marquise Goodwin that went left, and then the next play was like a bubble or a tunnel to Darnell Mooney.
Sure.
And Jalen shows up on both of those to make the stop.
Sure.
I'm just curious, when you're game planning, are you hoping that that's not going Jalen Ramsey's way, or is it just one of those things where you got to trust your players regardless to make the key block?
Well, for some of them, if someone is assigned to block them, we assume that we operate that they're going to block them. Sometimes you have a great player that you want to purposely stay away from. So I guess it's a mix. Sometimes you check the play at the line if an unblocked player is going to be there.
Coach Lazor, how much are you having to curtail what you do offensively around the state of your offensive line?
We did address it fairly well last week. Same question, but I'll do it again. I think that's what you do, is you every year, every week, every game, you look at your players. What's the best thing for them to do? How do we put them in the best situation to be successful? And that's football. That's coaching. So it's a trick question.
Well, you had two guys go down, though, in the game.
Yeah.
Different than last week. So just as far as in that game, we saw a lot of short passes, and I have to imagine.
I thought Elijah did an excellent job. I don't, as you know, I was not calling the plays, but I can speak, I think, for the staff to say that Elijah being in the game had zero effect, as far as I can speak, of what we did. I thought he handled himself great. He's been here, we know he's played in the past. He was here all offseason. He's played both left and right for us. I think we have great confidence in Elijah.
The small sample size, but the 5 snaps that Justin was out there, what's your sense for what he gained out of those?
Well, I think probably some stuff internally that I would have a hard time judging. I think from the outside looking at it, he looked like he belonged. He looked like he could be successful. Nothing was too big for him, which we didn't think it would be, but looked like he had fun.
As you guys meet as coaches and try to figure out the best ways to mix him in and match him in, what are the factors that you talk about in trying to figure out what is the proper niche each week with him?
I think it's the same as any time you game plan. You have to balance 3 things. What are the best things we do? What are the weaknesses of the opponent? And then what are our matchups, personnel? And some teams will rely more on, hey, let's change what we do to take care of their weaknesses. Some places are more, hey, we do what we do, and we do it really well. I think using Justin's snaps kind of fall in that category of balance those 3 things.
Bill, why do you think it is that, there have been some instances, Taysom in New Orleans, I think Lamar, when he wasn't the starter, of coaches, using a quarterback for a play or 2 at a time. Why do you think that really hasn't stuck in the NFL the way maybe it did in college, where you did it in the name of getting the guys in the game?
Well, I think in reality in the NFL, there are only so many quarterbacks that are good enough to win. Probably not 32. And so if you really have 2 on your team that can do that, you're fortunate. And most of the time when people try to do that, it's just hard. It's hard to have 2 that are really good enough. I'd like to think we have 3, but I think time, you asked the question over time, why hasn't it happened? That's probably why.
You guys were able to end last season feeling pretty good about your running game. Kind of build confidence in that area coming out of Sunday night and what you were able to accomplish?
I thought that was one of the positives, was the efficiency of the run game, because it helped us even when it wasn't making first downs. It kept us close enough that we were able to be better on our 3rd down conversions and the overall production of it. But that being said, it only counts if you score enough points, and we didn't. So, I mean, we obviously break down every area, and there was some positives that came out of it, but big picture, that's not enough to win an NFL game.
Did David look better than he did? And he looked good last year, but it's small sample size from the other night.
I was very careful today, and he teased me, but when I talked to him about the positive things he did, he immediately told me he thought I was acting like I was surprised. I said, of course I'm not surprised. No, I think that's what we're expecting out of David. I think he's had a great offseason, he had a great camp, and I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for us that that's where he is again.
What'd you think of Larry Borum's, it's a few snaps before he got hurt, but what did you think about him, a fifth rounder coming in as week 1 and playing?
I thought when Larry started practicing with us in the spring, even though it's no pads, he was impressive. He impressed us at that point where he was physically, mentally, play speed for a tackle. I think sometimes for those college tackles to become NFL tackles, they really have to learn what the play speed is, of how fast they have to set, how fast the rush is going to get on them. And he impressed with that. Right now, to me, the thing that's most impressive is how much time he missed from injury and still be able to play as well as he did for the amount that he was in. So I'm very optimistic because of both of those things.
What was the decision-making process like from going for it on 4th and 15 and 10 minutes left in the game? How early did that decision-making process start for you and Matt, and what was that communication like?
Oh, I'm not going to disclose the communication, and I can't recall how I would describe how fast it started. That's probably a better question for Matt.
So the 15-yard sack that preceded that, it looked like you guys may have had something dialed up for Darnell on a move on the left. What didn't allow that to get there? Is it just a matter of what they did defensively, or if the protection holds up? Did you sense that?
I think it was just the protection. I thought our guys did a really good job for most of the game, and when you're playing some good rushers, and it's our fault for getting to the point in the game where they know you're most likely gonna pass. I mean, when it's 1st and 10, when it's 2nd and 7, normal part of the game, the advantage is offense. The way the rules are in the game right now, the fact that you can do anything else, anything that you want. When it becomes 2nd and super long, when it becomes 3rd down, it becomes into the game, and they know you're gonna pass, high percentage, it becomes advantage defense. And that's what we got. We just got to that point. Yeah.
From what you saw, the protection held. Was that there? Was the actual pass there?
You can judge that.
Bill, on the first 4th down, Andy had Cole Kmet open across, but there was a blitzer coming, and he went to, I think, Allen Robinson. What was your analysis of what went wrong on that play? Because it seems like if the first read is Cole Kmet, it's the first down.
I probably don't want to share it. Sorry. I don't want to give you less than an honest answer.
Bill, do you think Justin Fields, based on what he did week 1, is ready for a full series? Do you think he can handle a full series?
I would have said after the preseason that he's moving quickly and ready for whatever's thrown at him. So I don't think anything's changed.
If he's ready for it, then why isn't he getting those additional chances?
I think Matt's probably addressed what his philosophy is on the quarterback position. I don't think that's any different. I don't think there's any reason for me to answer that.
When you were in Cincinnati with Dalton, how did it, sorry.
That's okay. I was laughing just more at.
When you were in Cincinnati with Dalton, how was he kind of revered or treated by the organization and the fans there? He talked about last year how nice it was to go back and kind of feel that love when he was with the Cowboys.
Oh, I think when we were preparing for the Bengals game on, you watch the video, and obviously as the second game of the year, you have a whole bunch of video from last year that you study, and on one of the shots of the Dallas game, I can't remember if it was up in the stands of the scoreboard or if it was on the sideline. Somewhere there was a big sign that said, thank you, Andy and JJ, for making such a difference and or for changing lives, I think is what it said. So I think that speaks to what they did there. I really do.
Thanks, Andrew.
Okay, so we got.